What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. And in this one, yeah, you read that title right. You read that right. It's not wrong. We are going to be talking about Baker Mayfield to the New England Patriots this offseason. Before we get into that, guys, please make sure you leave a big like on this video. Comment down your thoughts about Baker Mayfield to the Patriots in the comment section below. While, of course, subscribing to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. You guys just liking the video and commenting takes not even 30 seconds, and it helps the channel out tremendously. And guys, it costs absolutely nothing. So if you guys would like to see more videos like this, make sure you guys leave a big thumbs up. And you're probably thinking, Patriots Global, what are you talking about? We got Mac Jones, and this is not to hit on Mac Jones in any way, shape, or form, because I'm a big Mac Jones fan. I've always believed in keeping Mac Jones around, and I wasn't one of those fans screaming for Bailey Zappi and screaming to bench Mac. I never agreed with any of that. This report, or this theory, I should say, is coming from NFL insider Albert Breer. He's actually coming out, who is a solid Patriots reporter, very reliable, just talking about how much sense it would make and how it would not surprise him if the Patriots went out and were at least interested in adding Baker Mayfield. This is what he had to say. He said, and I quote, "I think we've got to look at Bill's actions here too. Controversial wisdom says that you do everything you can at the quarterback for the quarterback's first year, 3 years, to bring him along and create the right environment around him. Have they really done that? Like, they rolled the dice with Joe Judge and Matt Patricia at every opportunity Bill's hand. This year, he said, he's, and I quote, unequivocally my starter. Bill's failed to do that both earlier in his career and recently." So there you can obviously tell that he's talking about how the Patriots have gone about with Mac Jones, and kind of the storyline that has progressed with Mac Jones throughout training camp this past year and the 2022 season. So this is also what Breer had to say about his theory within bringing in someone like a Baker Mayfield. He says, and I quote, "And I do think what you lose in reps, maybe you gain in competition. The way I look at this, there's two benefits to bringing in competition, especially if it's somebody younger like Baker Mayfield. Number one, you may find an answer on Mac quicker on who he's going to be as a professional and as a player. Number two, this gives you kind of two swings at it. If the goal is to find your quarterback for the next decade, having both Baker Mayfield and Mac Jones in the building, if that talent isn't comparable, gives you two swings at getting the right answer." So essentially what Albert Breer is hitting at is that obviously we don't know what we are going to be doing with Mac Jones yet, but the Patriots are very quickly approaching that fifth-year option. New England is going to need to figure out if they want to pick up that fifth-year option or not. If they decline that fifth-year option and Mac Jones balls out, now you're signing him to a much bigger contract compared to what you would have had to have given him if you just accepted that fifth-year contract, or excuse me, that fifth-year option. The Patriots are definitely in limbo right now with what exactly they should do. Year one, Mac Jones balls out. Shows a lot of potential, a lot of progress from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. He makes NFL Top 100 voted on by the players and a Pro Bowl in his first year. And then in his second year, he falls off, but you also have to look at the circumstances that went along with it, considering really the entire offense did not succeed in year two. And now, Mac Jones is heading into the third year of his 4-year guaranteed contract, in which, again, New England's approaching. Do we sign him to that fifth-year option, or do we not? And like Albert Breer himself said, it's not like you're dealing with an absolute veteran quarterback. You're not dealing with like a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, a guy who's going to be out of the league within a couple of years. Now, Baker's still a veteran because he was drafted in 2018. He's been around here for a couple of years now, about 4 years because of that contract. But being just 27 years old in Baker Mayfield, if he is that answer, if he is your starting quarterback going forward, he's young enough to where you could have him for several years to still come. It's a very different story compared to if you brought in an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or a Derek Carr, who within a couple of years is going to be out. So Mac Jones doesn't really necessarily feel that competition because he knows within a year or two, he's going to have that shot yet again. With a Baker Mayfield, if Mac Jones wasn't to step up, Baker Mayfield has that job for the next decade. And I think that Albert Breer hits on some really good points with what he says also, because if you look at Mac Jones' rookie year when he had competition and he was not guaranteed that starting job with Cam Newton, he balled out. He played out. He played an excellent preseason, an excellent offseason, and an excellent regular season. Then in year 2, when Mac Jones is guaranteed that starting job, the guys behind him are Brian Hoyer and a rookie Bailey Zappi. Obviously, Mac Jones really isn't all that worried because he knows that job is his. Now, of course, I do still think circumstances go into how he played, but at the end of the day, competition is going to motivate Mac Jones to be more precise, to be more careful, because he knows that job is not 100% secured with somebody like Baker Mayfield close up on his heels. And while Mac Jones would lose reps in training camp, mini camp, preseason, that competition from Baker Mayfield being on his heels is going to thrust him into, again, being more precise, being more accurate, and just playing an overall better game. And it also wouldn't surprise me if Bill Belichick, or even honestly a team like the Raiders, those are my two teams to watch here with Baker Mayfield, would be interested in someone again like Baker Mayfield, because in 2018, when the Patriots still had Tom Brady, not for that much longer, but they still had Tom Brady, the Patriots were interested in drafting Baker Mayfield. They were interested in trading up into a top 3 draft pick spot if Baker had fallen a little bit in order to select Baker. So obviously there was interest with Patriots, Belichick, and Baker at one point. Now that he's going to be a free agent and on a potential low-budget deal, this would be New England's time to grab him and see, hey, is there anything that we could get out of him from when we originally were interested in drafting him just a few years ago? Baker started out his career with the Cleveland Browns as the number 1 overall pick, fairly hot. He was looking good. Was he a franchise quarterback? That was still in question. But then last year, after falling off with the Browns in his last year there, he was traded to the Carolina Panthers. He doesn't last that long there, getting switched out between Sam Darnold and PJ Walker before ultimately being released, in which he goes out the last couple of weeks with the Los Angeles Rams and absolutely balls out with them. But obviously, in 4 years playing with 3 teams, not all that great. So right now, his projected deal is $6.5 million per year when he signs a new contract on the open market come March. That's really not a lot of money at all for someone who, one, could push Mac Jones into becoming your potential starter franchise quarterback, or two, for someone in Baker that maybe could become your franchise starting quarterback. Now, if Baker had come here last year, I wouldn't have had much of really any confidence that he would have played well or had a real fighting chance within this system because of all of the hardships and struggles, no quarterback coach, no real offensive coordinator. But with this upcoming season, with the Patriots getting likely a new quarterback's coach, definitely a new offensive coordinator, I think that Baker could have a real fighting chance and actually look good, especially if the Patriots look into somebody like the Los Angeles Rams offensive passing game coordinator. And then you look at the 5 games that Baker Mayfield played with the Los Angeles Rams here towards the end of the season. He played from week 14 to week 18 for the Los Angeles Rams and really got thrusted into things very, very quick. In that time span, week 14, they ended up coming out with a win. Week 15, they came out with an L. Week 16, win. And then week 17 and 18, L. During those, 5 weeks, Baker was able to throw for a total of 4 touchdowns while just throwing 2 interceptions. Those stat lines weren't anything crazy. Week 14, when they played the Las Vegas Raiders, he threw for 230 yards. Week 15, when they played against Green Bay, he only threw for 111. Week 16, when they played against Denver, he threw for 230. Week 17, when they played against the Chargers, he threw for 132. And then week 18 against Seattle, he threw for 147. At the end of the day, I still believe in Mac Jones. Mac Jones is still my guy, and I think there's a lot of potential and still a lot of upside. Let's give him a real coaching staff. Let's give him an actual quarterback's coach to work with. I mean, Mac Jones was going to outside sources during the season to try to find help for the Patriots offense. When your second-year quarterback has to do that, you know there's a problem. Let's get him a real coordinator. Let's get him a quarterback's coach. Let's get someone who knows what they're doing with a young quarterback, and let's see the potential that is there that was shown in his rookie season. You know, me personally, I definitely wouldn't be against bringing in somebody like Baker Mayfield because I do think that somebody like Baker could thrive in the Patriots system. Again, depending on who these coaches are that come in, could be very evident on how good or how bad he does. But a good offensive line that the Patriots, I'm very confident, will fix. Good weapons that the Patriots will still have. This is a place where I think Baker could succeed. But also, you look at some of these most successful quarterbacks, and you even look at Bailey Zappi when he was in for the Patriots for a couple of weeks. He has attributes that are very quarterback-friendly in today's NFL. A guy who has a big arm, but a guy who can also move around the pocket, can avoid sacks, and can be a mobile quarterback. Baker Mayfield hits on all of those attributes. And like Albert Breer himself said, you need your franchise quarterback. That is like step one to being a good team, to having a fighting chance, and even making the playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl. And while we don't know exactly what the future holds for Mac Jones, you have a much better chance at finding that future franchise quarterback by taking 2 swings of the bat here. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Baker Mayfield to the New England Patriots? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But like always, I do appreciate you guys for watching, and don't you ever forget, go Pats.